losing, no. But I'm broke, but now I'm living adding digits, counting zeros and some decimals.
And I wish you would try to test me, yo. You should listen to the lesson, no. Masterminds out of Mexico, I invested though when I let it grow.
Benjamins, I got a pocket full. Rich the income and your taxes low. Spend it right and then invest some more. And if you don't believe me, it's my Doc Cardone.
What you mean? You mean Uncle G? Planting seeds for these money trees. Who got my money, please? Everywhere you wanna be, like Visa, MasterCard, American Express. I bought the bank and I bought the jet.
I buy apartments, I send checks.
Yo, billionaire went undercover, help y'all discover who did it best.
Just bought 2 choppers, can't wait till they see the face and they see what I do next. When I walk through the door, I'm talking cash flow. And if you know like I know, you getting cash flow. When I walk through the door, I'm talking cash flow. And if you know like I know, you getting cash flow.
Yeah, and only then do I buy something stupid. How stupid can you go? You can go as stupid as your cash flow.
You know what heals all ills? Deals. Look who went from meals to bills. It's eat what you kill when you're in the field. In the pipeline overflowing, I don't drip, I spill.
We don't seek balance, nah, we want extraordinary. If you really knew my dreams, it'd be more than scary. We got more to spare, ain't no shortage, baby. Winning by the chopper and another for my lady.
Talking about the bird and the strap. Say the word and she handle that.
Fully loaded, put it at the target, and you know we letting off every man. Got my money, who got my back? You can never get it if you never ask.
Big bags, legendary swag. Only one thing better than cash.
When I walk through the door, I'm talking cash flow. And if you know like I know, you getting cash flow. When I walk through the door, I'm talking cash flow. And if you know like I know, you getting cash flow.
When I walk through, no I won't do, no I won't do, no I'm talking to, not to, you know about to do.
Hey, Grant Cardone here. Welcome to the 5th day or the 6th day. I don't even know. I'm losing my mind. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. What a week it has been. Friday. Today is Saturday. Welcome to the 10x $1 million challenge. Unless you're not happy with $1 million, I'll take you to 10 million if you can think that big. If you can't think that big, I can't take you there. By the way, it doesn't cost anything to dream big. There is infinite numbers of people that can be successful, folks. My success does not, limit your ability to be successful. John down the street in your neighborhood, he hits it big on some IPO and he gets super rich. Or Bobby over here, scores a real estate deal and he makes $100 million. And Alan comes up with some idea and boom, he becomes a billionaire. That doesn't take anything away from me. There's infinite amounts of people that can be successful. So regardless of where you're at right now, if you can dream it and then attach targets to it and then put some strategy on it, because you're going to have to learn some skills at some point. You could be the dumbest person, but you're going to have to strap yourself up with some freaking super smart people that can keep the party going. I'm here to help you. If you would allow me to be part of your life, I'm going to show you how to negotiate your way from your mind to the bank or to Wall Street. You're going to watch me do all this in my lifetime. Johnny, can you show the shots that we did today? Because I think this is inspirational. This is beast mode right here. This is a flex right here, folks. Look, people, I posted this on Instagram, like, you're such a show off. For sure. Like, you're not telling me something I don't know. There's a 2017 Gulfstream 550, an Augusta 2011 Augusta 139, and its baby brother. I'm a twin. I thought I'd get 2 of them. An Augusta 139 right behind it. Okay, those require fuel, insurance, hangars, insurance, and then I got to put people in them. Because if you don't put people in them, then they're just empty vessels. And that is where your life is right now. It's got this empty vessel in it. Okay, now what do you want to add to it? A house, a yacht, a business? You want to be on the front of New York Times? You want to be on American Idol? Like, you just have to negotiate your way from where you are to where you want to go. And that starts with targets. Monday night, we talked with Kevin O'Leary. Don't overspend your basic needs. And I came back in at the end of that. What I'll do tonight, I'm going to spend some time with this guy tonight, man, talking about negotiating. When this is over, don't go away, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and strap some freaking some bone and some tendons and some ligaments on top of that marrow that my man Chris Voss, Master Negotiator, is going to give you at 5:30 tonight. We'll do a Q&A with him. I'm going to let everybody be part of that. Mm-hmm. But look, folks, tonight ends. You know what happens when tonight ends? You're going to leave, and you're going to be saying great things about Grant Cardone for doing this for the last 6 days. That is not going to make you any money, and that is not going to make your dreams a reality. What happens after tonight, what you do with this tomorrow and Monday and Tuesday, is what's gonna make a difference. Last night I was on a live audience call, about 1,500 people, and they said, guy says to me, I got to know why you're doing this for free. Okay? Look, let me just show you the simplicity of this. For all of you out there trying to build something online. Okay? We reached, and I'm just going to tell you, give you the insides. I don't think you guys mind me making money. I show you all my stuff. And the whole time, my whole life, all I've wanted to do, I never want anybody to give me anything except a glimpse inside. What's that show? The Wizard of Oz. Dude, I just want to know what's back there, man. Once I see that guy back there is just like me, I'm like, oh, wow, man, I could be the Wizard of Oz. I don't know if he was a good guy or a bad guy, whatever the deal was.
He was a good dude. He came around at the end.
I was just curious about who's the dude, who's the God, who's got the power, what's it like to be a president or a senator or a governor? What's it like? What's going on with those people? What's it like to be a rap star? What's it like to be Drake? What's it like to be rich? What's it like to have a yacht? What's the bills look like? You know, I see the 1 week that people spend on a yacht out in the sun taking the photos. Dude, what's that bill look like when it comes? You know, when they take the barnacles off the bottom, what's that cost? So I've just always wanted a glimpse inside. I've never wanted a handout. So wherever you are right now, we talked about, first was the target. Like, what is the target? Because without a target, you're going to just get money and blow it. You're like, I got some money. And this is what Kevin O'Leary said. And the guy takes the money and then he goes and spends it. Magic Johnson said, I got on the basketball court and all I wanted to do was be attached to the owners. See, other guys are like, I just want a ring. I just want a ring. But Magic didn't stop there. So we got to clarify your targets, okay? And the problem with targets, because I just told Jared this a few minutes ago, behind the scenes. Like, bro, it's about a target. Everything's about the target. The target is senior to everything. Everything will fall in place if the target is committed to greatly. My target is wealth. I want wealth. I do not want income. I want wealth. So when tomorrow comes, you guys, your targets are going to go all over the place. You're going to be worried about the vaccine. You're going to be worried about the police. You're going to be worried about the teachers. You're going to be worried about your kids. You're going to be worried about where your car keys are. You're going to be worried about your bills. I want to be your coach, okay? So when we started this, our target was 125,000 people that would sign up for this that we didn't have the names of. We spent 3 weeks marketing this. Free event, because somebody on Clubhouse said, why are you doing this for free? I don't trust that. I'll tell you why. Because it's going to make me a bunch of money, okay? The target first is the people. I need people. How many people? Our target was 125,000 people. I think we had 149,000 people, plus whatever damage I do with my organic stuff on Clubhouse and Instagram and Facebook. This is a completely free offer. Then we came in about, how many? What did we average per night on the 15,000?
Yeah.
15,000 people. Yeah. I knew, this is 10X in action, okay? I know that we need 10 times the people to sign up for something because most of the people are just 10%ers. 90% of the people cannot show up. It's the 10%, you guys, you're 10%ers. My goal with the 10%ers, though, is to make you 1%ers. You understand? So 15,000 people show up for this event, parts of it. Maybe they got their baby on there, they're not paying attention. See, even the 15,000 audience, because they didn't pay attention, they pop in late. You guys are coming in right now. I can see you coming in right now. You don't have your full attention on it. Maybe you got distracted. You missed Wednesday, then you missed Thursday, but you got Monday and Tuesday. Some of you forgot everything we did already. You showed up every damn night, which means you're back to a zero. Okay, so watch. You're like, okay, you still did this for 15,000 people, and we made an offer. It was $297 for some portion of this audience. I can't do it for everybody because we run out of bandwidth to take advantage of this $1,500, $1,000 program, 10X Super Life. I'm going to give it to you. The marketing mastery package, I'm going to give it to you. It's $1,500. That's the bonus. The thing I want you to come to is 3 days with me. It's a virtual boot camp. It's virtual, meaning I deliver it to you and it's live. It's me 3 days, and it's the only 3-day event I do any time in the year. I am literally with you on a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday, okay? I give you homework to do tonight, starting tonight. Many of you took advantage of that, and you're gonna freaking love it, okay? Because I'm gonna be with you as a coach to mentor you, guide you, and hold your hand over a period of about 30 days until you can be like, okay, I got this, okay? I want you to start now. You got 21 days to get through this material and the 10X rule authored by me. And what is that thing I do to them? Autograph it, okay? Yeah. I shot on the words. That's why I need help, okay? So I'm gonna give you these 2 programs. I'm gonna give you a 3-day boot camp, a 3-day virtual delivery. We're gonna be talking about wealth. This would cost $3,000 if you bought it off my website, okay? It's only $297 tonight. And check this out. Should I tell them now, right now? Nah. I'm going to do it, though. I ought to just go ahead and tell you. For everybody, by the way, that already did this, okay, I'm going to give you, because I know what's going to happen with me and Voss tonight. He doesn't even know it yet. This guy's a negotiated terrorist. Me and him are going to start chopping up the negotiating thing, and he's going to get me warmed up, okay? And then I'm going to go freaking crazy because if he's the master of negotiating, I am the sensei. I have negotiated $6 billion worth of deals in my lifetime. $6 billion. I've never negotiated with a terrorist, but I got to tell you, when I'm with a bank, it feels like they're terrorists. Okay? It feels like okay, at any moment I could get bent over. Okay. Most of the time, when I negotiated my deal with Discovery Channel, there was freaking 12 executives in the room and me by myself. When I did a deal, $185 million deal last week. In the city of Houston, one of the largest real estate transactions in the city of Houston. Dude, I walked in by myself, and it's a whole accountants, CPAs, attorneys. My attorney wants to go with me. I'm like, I don't need you. My accountant wants to go with me. I don't need you, okay? People want to come with me. I'm like, I'm going by myself. I can handle myself. You have to get yourself in a position to negotiate your life, what you want, your lifestyle. So I'm going to give you our negotiating master and master closing program that is 5 hours live with me, and it's one topic, negotiating. Now, think about this. On your target from here, this is you right now. Let's say you're worth 0, or let's say you're worth 100 grand. Okay, I'm talking to my country club rich friends, or maybe you're worth $2 million. Okay. By the way, this guy right here is hurting more than anybody. The guy that's broke, he knows he's broke. Like they know there's no lying to yourself, okay? It's probably half this audience. I've been broke. I'm broke today. I don't think I have any money on me right now, but you can't break me. I'm going to show you how to be in a position to get anything you want, but through negotiating, okay? So this guy's got 100 grand. He doesn't really have any money to work with. And this guy that's got 2 million, I want to take this guy to 200 million. I want to take this guy that has no money to his first million, okay? And this guy that's got no money, I'd like to show him how to build a $5 million business in 90 days because if I could pull this off, I'm going to brag about the first guy that had 0 more than I'm going to brag about the guy that went from 2 million to 200. I've done every one of these and I can do it with you, but you cannot do it if you don't know how to negotiate. Every single thing you do along the way will be in negotiations. Everything. Your salary, your job, your position, getting time with someone, a car deal, selling the car, buying a house, yeah. Getting a loan on a business,
construction job done,
getting a job done for yourself. Okay, you have to know how to negotiate. You become an Instagram sensation, and you don't know how to negotiate what you're worth. Most of you over-negotiate. Oh my God, I'm worth this much money and I'm only going to do 15 minutes because I'm so busy. You're missing the opportunities in your lifetime. Look, there's an infinite number of people that can be successful on this planet and there's infinite numbers of opportunities. So I'm going to give you guys this. Everybody that already hooked up for this $297 package, grantcardone.com/virtual. You bought the low end of the package, and I'm going to give you my negotiating package. I'm going to give you the marketing mastery. I'm going to give you the 10X Super Life. This is good until tonight, midnight tonight.
Yep.
I'm also going to give you our 10X workbook at the virtual boot camp, all right, and the exercise book, okay? So we're going to give you the support you need, and we're going to start today, okay? I'm going to interview Chris Voss here in a second, but I just want to kind of summarize what's happened so far. Okay, what's happened so far is I brought a guy in named Kevin O'Leary on day one. He talked about discipline. Almost every single person, including Jordan Peterson last night, said you need some vitamin D. They say vitamin D will cure almost everything. Everything. I can't even talk about some of the things they say it will cure, because if I do, they might shut my damn channel down, okay? So you need vitamin D, man. You need discipline in your life, okay? So that when I earn income, I don't invest in belts, okay? I don't go buy belts. What I go buy is real estate. I don't buy cars. I don't have a Ferrari, okay? What I did was I never owned a Ferrari in my lifetime. Before I ever buy one Ferrari, I guarantee you I'm going to go add a jet. I'm going to have a fleet, not a Ferrari. Because those freaking planes and those helicopters, man, they can move me around the world. They can move me around the world and get me in front of kings and queens and princesses and people that I need to be in front of. Okay, so discipline. 2, we talked about passive income. We're talking about wealth. Some of you, you're sitting there like, what is this guy talking about? I'm talking about you getting rich. I'm talking about you creating wealth for yourself, financial freedom. I'm talking about I don't have to get up and money comes in. And that is not pie in the sky, folks. That is a possibility. First 45 years of my life, I worked for income. At 45, I woke up, hey man, this isn't working. I go get it, they take it, I save it, it depreciates. 45 years old, I'm like, I got to change the game. I spent 3 years studying this money game. Now today, I go get money, I take it, I convert it to something else, real, it appreciates in value, and then one day it pays me not to even show up for work. It's the trick that the wealthy, it's not a secret. This is out in the open, it's being done every single day, but you have to have skills along the way to do it, okay? Which means I gotta go get money, I gotta get a skill to get money, I gotta take that money, because you have to invest to get passive income. And if you stay broke, you have no passive income. You have nothing to invest with to produce passive income, okay? Third day, we talked to, Magic Johnson, man. What did he say, man? He said, look, quit going for paychecks. Go get you some vitamin EQ. Equity. You guys keep saying, give me a dollar, give me a penny, give me a nickel, give me 10,000, give me a raise. Quit asking for raises. Start asking for equity. If I teach you how to negotiate the way Chris is going to drop some bombs on you tonight about negotiating, the power, how to work people, see people, understand people, read people. He's going to share that with you, but if you don't have the right target, if you wake up tomorrow and you forget, hey man, I can't even get my workout in. Well, then by next Wednesday, you're back to like, oh, that didn't work. This will work if you let me support you over the next 30 days, just 30 days. Between now and October 22nd. Let me do what I've done for the last 5 days. A lot of you hit me saying, man, I'm so inspired. I'm so excited. I'm like, you're rocking my life. You're changing the way I think. But the problem is this. I can change the way you think today. Okay, I'm stretching your mind. I'm stretching it. And tomorrow, it's just back to being a piece of rubber, a rubber band. Okay? Look, you got to use it. You got to use it. And most of you can't use it because you don't have the confidence yet, because I hit so many different things today. Magic Johnson talked about equity. Last night.
Stormy.
Stormy. What did Stormy talk about? Man, you need a story. Okay? You got to have visualization. You got to see it. Then you got to get close to it. You got to touch it. She says, look, you gotta fertilize the soil around you. You gotta have the right people. You gotta be sure you don't have weeds around you. Mm-hmm. You gotta be sure you got oak trees around you to provide you with shade and nourishment and a place to cool out. I gotta put my cabana on something. Not my cabana, my thing. My
hammock.
My hammock. My swing set. Your kids need a swing set, but you gotta have a tree to lay the swing set, right? So she talked about people. That's what I got from her. She was so inspirational. And then last night, so inspirational. I was with Stormy today. Stormy reminds me, if she can do it, I can do it. If she can do what she's done, I have to do more than I have done. And if you miss that, I'm sorry for you, because that was crazy. Jordan Peterson talked about how you have to get control of your life. Nobody's going to do it for you. If you're crazy, okay, cool. What you going to do? He talked about forward motion. He talked about targets. He talked about having something to move toward. That is the only thing that actually makes people happy. Forward movement in a
Progress.
direction.
Production yields happiness.
Exactly. In line with values. So when I talk about wealth, and Dr. Peterson hit on some of this, a lot of people think if you're rich, you're just a bad person. And then he said, that's wrong. Because most people that have wealth and have created wealth actually become a better version of themselves. Okay? Money's not going to make you happy. It will allow you to have choices that you don't have today. Okay? And tonight we're going to talk to Chris Voss about negotiating, how to become a master at the game of reading people, knowing what's too much to ask for. I just played a game with my friend Todd Skelton. He's on Clubhouse, and he told me he was looking at buying a house in Delray.
Yeah, he's moving down here.
You know, and he's moving down here. He's a friend. Him and the family, they're friends of ours. And they're moving from where they are from Boston down here. And he told me he's looking at a $4 or $5 million house, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, man. That's great, man. That's going to be really awesome. I said, right now, Todd, you should buy all the house you can. And I texted him a $12.9 million house in Delray Beach. I said, look, you should buy on the water. Okay, you should negotiate with the world to get what you want. Don't negotiate where you live. Don't compromise where you live. Don't negotiate less than you deserve. He's like, man, that's a lot of money. Then I gave him a little trick to handle this. Okay, I sent him a $40 million house. I'm texting it to him. Todd's probably listening to this right now. Okay, he didn't know I did this trick. It's a negotiating strategy. When somebody thinks they can't afford to do this, I just show them something they really can't do. Okay, and he's like, man, you're going in the wrong direction. He had a $4 million house under contract. That's all I did to him. He called and canceled it.
Wow.
That's all it did to unwind the deal. I said, bro, right now, if you're moving from Boston, New York, Illinois, California, you're moving into Florida right now, you buy all you can possibly handle. You're like, well, what does that have to do with that? You know, what's his name? The first day he said, live below your means. Bro, I'm talking about a wealth move, man. I'm talking about a strategy. Todd Skelton has already shown that he has discipline. Once you have discipline, you don't keep having it. What you got to do is you got to have risk. There comes a point when you create wealth where you go from being super disciplined to like, okay, I got that one figured out.
It's time to put some chips out there.
Now I got to put some chips out there. Because if you keep playing $50 blackjack, they're going to beat you. You have to get a $5,000 bet at some point to crack them. And maybe a $25,000 bet. So right now, for him to move down here, I know this market. I'm like, look, you put everything you can into that one location right now, okay? Because what's going to happen is New York City's going to come here, and they want to buy the water. They don't want to buy that house you think is nice. He canceled it. So this is a little trick. When people have an objection, a mental objection, I knew he had it. He didn't have to tell me he had an objection. Okay, I knew he had it. Before he could announce his objection, I said, hey, by the way, there's one down the street that's 41. You know what happened that fast? He's like, man, maybe I can do the 12 million. Okay, so that's a negotiating strategy. The strategy is basically based on the idea that the concept is that people love problems. And I never solve anyone's problems. I hear this all day on the internet. You got to find a problem and solve it.
Well, what Jordan said yesterday was that people talking is another way of them thinking. And that's why
I'm giving him
such
something
validation for what you've always said about
I'm giving
that.
him something to talk about, right? I'm giving him something to bounce off of. And you threw me up. I had something I wanted to say about that. But basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use a strategy to say, hey, well, Grant, what's that got to do with that 297 thing, okay? Because you guys are trying to figure out, you skeptics out there, like, why are you giving it away? Because when this is over, we're going to package the last 6 days, and I'm going to sell this program for $1,997, okay? I gave you the numbers. 14,000 people watch this week. I don't know, maybe 1,000 people will buy our offer. I'm going to take all that money, give it to our foundation, and then I'm going to go out and repackage this entire program, price it for $1,997. It would be worth that. Love to hear what you say in the chat. Were the last 5 days worth at least $2,000? You couldn't put any of these people on your stage. You couldn't get coaching time with not one of these people. Chris Voss, Sharon Lecter, Magic Johnson, Jordan Peterson, Kevin O'Leary, Grant Cardone all week. You cannot do this for $2,000. I'm going to sell this all day long. I'll sell 10,000 sets at $19.97. So I just want to thank everybody that paid the $297 and allowed me to fund this activity, help my foundation, and give me the platform to lay this out, okay? Why am I telling you that? My target is to build a bigger audience of people, because ultimately if you want wealth in your life, it involves people. Got to have people. No people, no wealth. Nobody in the history of the world has ever created wealth without touching people. Sam Walton touched a lot of people. Mark Zuckerberg, a lot of people. Google, a lot of people. Bill Gates, he can't touch enough. He's like, I want everybody to have my software program, everyone, okay? So if you want to create wealth, you have to touch people. Once you get people's attention, then what you have to do is you have to have products to sell, offers to make. So like if you hit my website right now, you're going to see free all over it. We give free books away. I don't promote you going to Amazon. I'm like, why would you go give Amazon $30 for one of my books when you could get the book from me for free? None of these products can you even buy from Amazon, okay? I want the name, okay? Then I'm going to start offering, I don't know how many products that we have, Jared, but
600 SKUs.
600 SKUs, okay? I have products at $29, $97, $297, $29.97, $20,000. You guys see people come to my conference, $20,000 tickets, $10,000 tickets, $5,000 tickets.
$100,000 coaching.
$2 million offers, $100,000 coaching. Come spend an hour with me, sit down with you. I ain't gonna listen to you the way Jordan is. Jordan's gonna ask you about your daddy. I'm gonna ask you about your money. Because you know what? Money doesn't have any emotions, folks. It goes to those that pay it the most attention. Your money problems can be literally reduced to this: the amount of attention you put on your money. And the bigger your money problems, the more attention you'll put on it. The more you invest, the more you pay attention. The more you pay, the more you pay attention. So you take care of a $300 bike differently than the biker does that pays $15,000 for a bike. Some of you take better care of your Peloton that you don't use anymore. But you still take good care of it. I got to keep it looking good. I got to keep it looking good, okay? So look, I want to help you. I want to be your coach. I want to make this very, very clear. I want you to join our offer, grantcardone.com/virtual, and I want to spend 3 days coaching with you. I want to see how many people I can turn into millionaires in 3 days. If you saw Undercover Billionaire, you saw me go from $0 to $5 million in 90 days during COVID. Great job, Johnny. That's me shaving my head. Okay, I didn't have my audience. I wasn't Mr. 10X. Couldn't use my social media, but I had my target, and I was clear on my target because I'm disciplined. My goal was to build wealth in 90 days, build a new company from scratch in 90 days. This is a great time for you, regardless of whether you're 15 years old or 50 years old, I can help you. But you got to make the commitment, okay? Tonight's going to end. Tomorrow we're going to be watching football. What happens Monday? I want to help you, okay? So take advantage of the grantcardone.com/virtual so that I can be your coach tomorrow. We're going to give you these 2 programs to start with. I'm going to also give you our negotiating and master and closing program. I'm going to include that. And then for the next 21 days, just give me 21 days. That's all I'm asking you to do. And then give me 3 days in October where I pop to your computer, your tablet, or your phone, okay? grantcardone.com/virtual is only $297, and I'm gonna turn around and donate the rest of that to my foundation. Is our guest on? Mm-hmm. Chris Voss, Master Negotiator is what he is known for around the world. He served as the lead crisis negotiator for the New York City division of the FBI. I hope I never get involved with these people. He was the lead international kidnapping negotiator for the FBI. He's done courses and teach business courses at USC, Georgetown, and Harvard. He founded the Black Swan Group, which specializes in teaching people how to never leave any money on the table. I can't wait to talk about that. Chris, if you're listening to me right now, bro, I want to keep this on the money game, okay? Like I want to make sure we're talking about wealth. And I really appreciate you taking your time to be here. I've looked forward to working with you for a long time, and I look forward to doing bigger things with you as well.
Yeah, same here, man. Thanks for having me on. I tuned in a little while ago, and you get me fired up. I love your ideas. I love your concepts.
Let's start here, Chris. Like before we get into your story and everything, how important do you think having a wealth target is for either a company or a household?
I think it's important on two levels. First of all, it's human nature. We got to have a target to shoot for, and then your goal should be to exceed your target. Find out what's there. By definition, you can't know everything. There are great surprises out there. So yeah, have a good target, and then explore and shoot to improve on that.
So when it comes to the money game, and I know you're working with companies now, taking the skills you learned in the darkest spots on the planet, and then you're doing that now for corporations and companies. How important is this wealth target for a household?
And we do it for individuals too. I mean, like we probably very similar to you. We target high performers. We target people who want to get better. Because working with somebody that knows that they need to work to get better, and that could be a lot of fun. A lot of companies out there, dysfunctional operations, 40% of the Fortune 500 is going to be gone in 10 years.
Wow.
They just, we focus on the individuals. But then back to your idea of having a target for a household. Amen. Yeah, absolutely. Because then, until you sort of get to a Zen-like approach, when you raise the level of your game, you need a target in order to start measuring your objective, measuring your success, forcing yourself into the discipline thing that you were talking about earlier. And then as you get into the groove, you realize that your performance is capable of exceeding your target literally at will. So the idea of a target falls away, but that's after you've mastered the fundamentals.
Yeah. So what do you mean by this Zen-like thing? Two things you talk about: high performers, and then you talk about the Zen-like. Tell me what where we're going with that.
Well, you stop paying attention to the result, and you pay much more attention to your habits, your outcome, your procedures. As a human being, in our basic fundamentals, we want to have a target. Andrew Huberman says duration, path, and outcome. We got to have an outcome in mind. Mm-hmm. It's a baseball player who's trying to hit home runs. As soon as he or she stops paying attention to whether or not the ball goes over the fence, and instead focuses on how they swing, how they stand, how they breathe, then suddenly the ball starts going over the fence. And that's when you're getting into, it's a little bit more of a Zen-like approach, for lack of a better term.
So when I'm going, like when you're negotiating with somebody, I mean, like, give me one of these scenes that you were in, one of these very interesting, compelling moments where you're negotiating with somebody. You're walking in to get what? To get intel? To get a name? A location?
Intel right off the bat. Intel in a gentle way, which catches them off guard in a good way, which makes them want to tell me more. Mm-hmm. The feeling of giving me information, I got to get that feeling so it's satisfying for them. Now they start giving me information. I start getting a much better idea of what the possibilities are.
So like, tell me where, like, have you been in the Middle East negotiating some of these situations?
And in my previous life, I was in the Middle East quite a bit.
Okay, so let's say I'm in a room. I want you to paint the picture. I'm the guy being interrogated. I've been in this room. Am I hungry? Have I been like am I tired? Have I been stripped down? What's happened before you get there?
Yeah. Well, that may have happened to you before I show up. I would not have advised it. However, if the other members of my team sought to do that, the first thing I would do is sit down and say, "Can I get you a cup of coffee? Can I get you a glass of water? What do you need in order to relax?" Because you're going to be caught off guard on that. With a bad guy, my first move is always, "Are you okay?" Because they're going to expect me to come in from a different approach, and then I'm not going to care about it. And in point of fact, no matter who is on the other side of the table, you should at least have some empathy, sympathy, compassion for them as human beings, regardless of who they are. So I'm going to demonstrate that.
Yeah. So I'm going to take that scene and I'm going to move it to a real estate deal. So I'm going in and be, "Hey guys, I want to be sure you guys are okay in this deal."
Yeah. Or, a real estate deal, depending upon what the circumstances are for you, I may start out with something saying like, man, it seems like you're under a lot of pressure here. Because they likely are. You know, they expect me to want to use that pressure against them instead of actually recognizing that it's working on them. And I'm not there. I'm not there as an adversary. The adversary is a situation.
And
The
you're
adversary is the situation.
an adversary is a situation.
yeah,
what does that mean
the
exactly?
adversary is the
Tell me
situation.
that. Tell me.
Well, anybody that you're talking to, the reality of the situation is the two of you are faced with different aspects of the same problem. And so ultimately, the best outcome is if the two of you collaborate. You're trying to buy a house, they're trying to sell a house. And a productive transaction is the challenge for both sides.
I knew I was
Now,
going to
if we
love
can
this.
get
Man.
into,
I knew I was going to love this, man. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm so happy right now. Thank you for being here, man. I appreciate it.
No, I'm glad to be on. You know, so the minute I move out of thinking of you as an adversary, I'm going to feel less threatened in the deal. I'm going to think better. I mean, this is all designed so that I think better. Now, subsequently, you are going to benefit secondarily from that. But I'm working on getting me into the best deal-making mindset, the best outcome mindset, surprising you with a better outcome, because the day's going to come when you're going to have the opportunity to do business with me again. I want you to remember that it ended up being better than you expected because you're going to want to come back.
So you're doing this. Your goal is not to manipulate. You're not manipulating the scene. You're coming in with a genuine, hey guys, I want to make sure this works for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I had a conversation about this stuff just the other day with Mark Cuban, and he was talking about, you know, people want to deal with me, then the next time the deal accelerates, they bring me deals.
Right.
You know, I got to refer them. You know, I'm looking for the long tail on everything. I'm not looking for one and done. You know, one and done is rare. It's an outlier, and even if it is a one and done deal. You know, the other side, if they feel exploited, if they feel used, if they feel that you took advantage of them, they're going to tell people in your environment. You're going to pay for them.
Yeah. So you're going in, your process then is to go in, hey, cup of coffee, cigarette, what can I get you to make the guy comfortable that's probably terrified? I'm back in the Middle East. I'm in the box now.
Yeah.
And then, but you're not going to go into sympathy with me. You still have your target. How do you hold your target?
Yeah, we make, you know, hostage negotiators make a clear distinction between sympathy and empathy. So, for example, and I used to use this all the time because, you know, we had Middle Eastern witnesses testifying in American courts voluntarily, not because of a hammer. So, what's empathy for me? I look at a Islamic Arab from the Middle East, grew up in a culture. America is the enemy. You know, we're the bad guy. That's what they're taught early on. And I just say, you know, you believe there's been a succession of United States governments for the last 200 years that have been anti-Islam. And they would go, yeah. Now, I never said I agreed. I said, you believe. This is how you see the situation. And I never followed up, but that's not true.
Right.
I'm not afraid of your misconceptions. And I'll get them to go away much quicker if I simply acknowledge them fearlessly.
So you're acknowledging their reality rather than trying to create a new one.
Exactly. Which makes them open to a new perspective.
And then when do you move into what you want?
You know, we'll tee it up. We got one or two tools that we'll use. You know, the call to action, the ask. It's either going to be in the form of a how or what question. How do you want to proceed? What are the next steps? Or, you know, we got a really counterintuitive thing that we love because it catches people off guard. Instead of proceeding with a yes, we'll proceed with a no. And I'll say something like, are you against me sharing some ideas with you? Because people feel safe and secure when they say no. They're either going to be more open to the word no, or they're going to be more open to the word yes. I'm prepared to go either way. We're finding a high percentage of good response from no. So I'll test the no response first. And I'll say, you know, is this a ridiculous idea? Are you against me sharing some ideas with you?
Are you against me what?
Sharing some ideas with you. If I get a specific thought I want to share, I'll say, look, I know this is troubling you. I know you're concerned about this. From your perspective, this is very hard. These are the people you got to get on board. Are you against me sharing some ideas with you? And then I'll wait to see how they respond.
Yeah. And they're like, I mean, yeah, sure, dude. You got some ideas? I'd love to hear some ideas.
Or there may be, we also believe there's always a team on the other side. There are influencers that everybody relies on that might tank your deal. So if I say you're against me sharing some ideas, that might smoke that out. They might say, no, I'm not against you sharing ideas, but here's who also has to be on board in order for me to make this work. My wife, my accountant, my brother-in-law. I need to find out who's on their decision team, if you will, their implementation team. And a no-oriented question is going to be likely to kick that out, because if there are other issues, they're more likely to share those with me if I get them to say no, but here are the issues.
Okay, so walk me back through the process. I got a little lost right there. Walk me back through the process. Am I in the box in the Middle East right now, or the boardroom?
Both, because human beings. One of the things that I love about the Daniel Kahneman, who won the Nobel Prize in 2002, and some other psychologists, human beings, regardless of circumstances, tend to make their decisions based on the same types of factors. Whether they're a bad guy in a box who feels trapped, or whether there's somebody in a business deal who feels trapped by their circumstances. It's varying degrees of intensity, but human nature is pretty much the same as to how they figure stuff out. So it applies in both situations.
Okay, so how do I figure something out?
Well, you're going to first be worried about what are you trapped by? Have you maintained your autonomy? People will die over their autonomy if you take away their ability to say no. And some people just say this, like, look, you can say no to me at any time. I'm gonna try to get you to say yes, but I want you to know before we go anywhere else, say no at any time, and I will go away. That frees up their autonomy and makes them more likely to proceed, because they don't feel trapped. As long as they don't feel trapped, they can move forward.
You're using the word economy as choices?
I'm sorry, autonomy, not economy. Their ability to make their own decisions.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Because what happens, Chris, when somebody loses their autonomy?
They will cause their own destruction, and they will act against their own best interests just to preserve their ability to keep their autonomy. I first realized Jim Camp wrote a book in 2002 called Start With No, and that was the whole essence of it. Just let people know that it's okay to say no, because it preserves their autonomy. And I was like, wow, this is why we have hostage negotiators, because we used to take away people's autonomy, and they would cause their own death just to prove that they still had control. And you see this in business deals all the time. People feel out of control, and then they talk to each other and go like, I'm going to blow up this deal.
Right.
And like, wait a minute, it's against your interest to blow this deal up. You're going to lose money. You will have wasted time. Your company's going to go bankrupt. You're going to lose your house. It's against your interest to do that. But when people feel trapped, it's a whole autonomy issue. So my plan is to get them to feel like they got autonomy, with me anyway, which increases the chance they're going to collaborate with me.
So do you see this, people putting themselves in a position where they blow up their own deal because they've over-negotiated their position? They've gotten, is that my fault on being on this side, or is it the buyer or seller's fault on the other side?
It's usually the circumstances that have brought them to the table in the first place. Somebody's selling a house because they're not making their payments, or, we're coaching a healthcare firm a couple of years ago. They're trying to come to a deal with an insurance company, and then every time they contact the insurance company, the designated negotiator calls them names, makes threats, just tells them how dishonest they are. Because, between the last two presidential administrations, if you're in the healthcare industry, you don't know, the rules change every 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. And so this guy from the insurance company is such a hostage because of the changing circumstances The healthcare company on the other side didn't do anything to him, but he's lashing out and blowing up the deal because it's the only way this guy can get control back, to destroy the opportunity.
Do these strategies affect everyone?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
How's that? Let's say I'm a waitress, a single mother, working in a bar, and I'm trying to get myself to the next level or financial freedom like we're talking about here. How does this internally happen to her, or how does she utilize this information?
Yeah, well, that's a great example, because waitress, somebody working in a bar, somebody seeing people on a regular basis, that's a laboratory to experiment with people. No stakes conversations, small stakes conversations, get a feel for this. And you were talking before about, how do you read people? You start a waiter or waitress in a bar, take a look at somebody's face and make a verbal guess on what's going through their mind. Seems like you're having a tough day. Seems like you're having a good day. Seems like you're deep in thought. Whatever your physical read of them at the moment. And it's okay to be wrong. It's actually sometimes better to be wrong. And just call it out. We call that a label. One of the negotiation 9 skills is a label.
What do you
just
call
label what you see.
A label.
A label. Okay.
Yeah, a label.
You got a heavier Southern accent than I do, man. Where'd you grow up?
Well, I grew up in Iowa. I'm a small town Iowa boy, and I spent a lot of time in New York City. So my accent is distorted between those two places.
Okay, I can't tell where it's from, man. Okay, so the label is a guess. You're just basically say, man, Chris, looks like you're having a great day today. Is that true?
Yeah, or just throw it out. I mean, don't even look for the following confirmation. Say, look, it looks like you're having a good day. Or, one of my favorites. I'm in LAX a couple years ago. Lady behind the counter she's purposely not looking at me so that I can approach and check in. And she's looking down. She's looking all around. And finally, and the kind of person who's like, I'm not waiting on you till I feel like it. So I walk up to her and I just go, tough day? And she kind of looked around and she shook it off. And she's like, no, how can I help you? She remembered me every single time I came back in the air.
Wow. Okay, so where do I go from the label?
Well, then let them react, because now they're giving you a thread. Their reaction is going to be the thread. Mm-hmm. And if you pull gently on the thread, taking your time, you'd be surprised at how quickly it unravels. So they're going to react, and then you continue to just, kind of call out what you're hearing. And just, again, these are verbal observations. And the fun thing about doing this is it gets you pretty good at reading people's emotions in the moment. There was one student in my class when we were teaching in negotiation at Georgetown. She did this so much that at a stoplight, a cab driver that she was doing the verbal reads on turned around and looked at her and said, do you know my wife?
Wow.
Because it was practice. It was just practice. And everybody's got the ability to get really good at this if they just try and they're willing to be wrong and willing to be corrected.
What is the difference between negotiating and closing the deal?
Great question.
Is there a difference? Is there a difference for you?
For me, the close of the deal is maybe the midpoint in the negotiation. Because, yes is nothing without how. Yes is at its very best. Yes is only an aspiration. And so you need to get into how right away. And how I got into the agreement will affect how smoothly how goes. Are they going to stick to the terms? What are they going to do when they run into problems? What are they going to do when their brother-in-law says this was a bad deal? Or somebody who's got no skin in the game other than jealousy starts whispering in their ear. Mm-hmm.
So
and there are going to be problems.
You're anticipating backdoors, escapes, unwinding while you're doing the deal. Like I think for the audience, just because I could sit here with you, dude, for like 3 days, right? But
Thank you.
I don't know that you got 3 days, but when I hear you say that, I can tell you're already starting to close the unwinding of the transaction. With so many people, they get excited up, they got a deal, and then find out, you never had a deal because you never finished. You didn't close it because you didn't shut off the escape mechanisms of the other people. Why are you looking for that while you're negotiating?
Because there's gonna be problems, So I need to set up. I don't need you scared when there are problems. I don't need you scared about getting back to me. Since there are gonna be problems. The only thing I hate about problems is getting blindsided by them. As soon as the other side's got a problem, I want to know right away because we can start working on fixing it together. We're negotiating, put some windows. My son and I, we're negotiating, put some windows in his house a couple of years ago. Contractors, tough business. Typically, they want a deposit, and then you don't see them for 6 months because it's a tough business. I mean, they're moving job to job.
Yeah.
So we negotiate whether or not they're going to get a deposit. And now he says, and guarantee the window's going to be in from 4 to 6 weeks. Guarantee they always are. And so I'm like, all right, so here's the deal. If they're not in 6 weeks, you've agreed in advance that I get to call you. You have to take the call. And I get to yell at you and call you names because you didn't make the deadline. He was so certain they were going to come in 6 weeks. So I'm negotiating the implementation, how we're going to move forward, how we're going to deal with the problems. So he kind of smiled and kind of laughed and goes, yeah, all right, fine. At 4 weeks, he called us and said, the windows are here right now. We're getting ready to come out this week. You don't need to call me in 2 weeks and yell at me. So it was a good-natured realization,
right.
That the world is going to throw us curveballs, and we need to continue to collaborate after the agreement so that we get this job done.
When you're buying something, Chris, do you think it's a good idea to get the best price or to pay extra for the service and then expect more from the service?
See, we expect more from the service. Like, when we negotiate, I'm probably going to give you your price.
Right.
And I'm going to expect you to keep each and every promise that you made.
Yeah, because that's leverage for you later to come back and say, hey, look, I didn't ask you for anything except, bing, bing, bing.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people give that up. They give that up because either they hadn't created wealth or they got money, they got scarcity problems. They try to grind everybody out when they're buying something and then put a person in a situation where they become, okay, I got to kill you later because I can't deliver because there's no margin. And I think people actually create a situation where they make people criminal.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So, I'm going to want to pay you your price. You're going to feel, if you feel that I ground you down, you're not going to deliver. You're going to be anxious and you're not going to want to deal with me in the future. Mm-hmm. If I give you your price, and I'm going to try to hit your sweet spot too. I don't like overpaying. I want to pay you what you think is a good price, and you're probably really going to deliver. And if you haven't lied to me, and you deliver, your price is actually a bargain. So you made money, I got a bargain, and you want to deal with me again. That's how I win across the board.
Okay, let me get some questions from my audience here, all right? Okay, and again, I really appreciate your time, man. You and I need to sit down and just spend some time together. We have a cigar with you, a bottle of wine. We just talk some negotiating. I'm working a big deal right now I could use some help on, by the way.
I'm sure we can figure it out.
It's $540 million, and I think there's going to be 17 people line up to buy this deal. So
you can buy a couple of cigars with that.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Questions are coming in, okay? Let me see. This is Brooke. It has been said that in negotiating situations, the first person that speaks loses. Do you agree with that?
I'll put two caveats on that. First person who names price loses.
The first person that what?
Names price first loses, generally speaking. generally speaking, because the other side naming a price is information. I want information.
Interesting.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna if I can, and it's situation drives strategy, including my own personal situation. Again, a conversation I had with Mark Cuban the other day about this. I said, we believe the other side names price first. And he says, yeah, all data is good data. Unless, there's a velocity issue here. This deal is a chain and a series of other deals. I already have done my homework. I know what the pricing should be. I'll throw a price out, but as a general rule, you want the other person to speak first, name price first. If you don't speak first, I need you talking more than I talk. We believe the person who talks most loses.
Wow, love that.
So
see, I like initiating the price. See, I like initiating the price to set the stage for like the expectation.
Well, there's a lot of reasons for that, and that's why we say situation drives strategy. So your situation at the moment. The only downside of naming price, there's two downsides to naming price first that we're cautious of. Coming in low when the other side was going to pay more. And secondly, I don't want to drive you from the table.
Right.
If I come in too high, you may have some amazing things that I want that I left on the table, because the price scared you off. So if I come in with a price first, which we will do, we're gonna prod the environment a little bit. Like typically, somebody calls, I get an email. Somebody says, "What want to hire you? Do you do in-person training?" And my response will be, "I do, and how much it costs you to hire me is going to give you a heart attack. It's going to be more than you ever paid." And at that point in time, if they give me the go-ahead to give a price, I'll give a price.
Yeah. But you've set the stage. You planted the seeds. You've soiled you properly prepared the soil. How do you feel about splits?
There's such a thing as high-value trade-offs, when it's driven by the circumstance. So as a general rule, if what you're splitting is because you don't want to put in the work to make a better deal, I'm not nuts about it. But if the process creates a better deal for both of us, and I'm speaking in real general terms, then I'm open to anything that makes a better deal for both sides.
Yeah, but how do you feel about, to me, it seems like if there's $10 left in a transaction, the one party's going to be like, always, it's a lazy negotiating strategy. It's like,
yeah, or I may give you the $10 because the amount of goodwill it's going to buy me for the future.
Right.
To return on investment.
Saying let's split $5. Like, what is going on for you emotionally to be like, it's not worth the $5 or the $500 or whatever it is?
Yeah, what is the emotional cost for both sides? And I mentioned Kahneman earlier. The problem with splits is, his Nobel Prize winning theory for all human beings is a loss stings twice as much as an equivalent gain. If I get you to give up $5, you're going to feel like you gave up 10.
Right, that's right.
Now that's a downward spiral for both of us.
Yeah, to get what, $5?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be cautious about emotional injuries that create resentment.
Wow, I love that. So what's happening for the buyer that's like, I got to win the next $5? Do you know what's going on for that guy as a buyer?
They're feeling pressure. Like if somebody's pushing me hard for that split, it's as a result of another external pressure. I'll come in another door to find out about that. I'm gonna say,
how do you do that?
Sounds like you're under a lot of pressure.
Yeah. And what do you mean, Chris, a lot of pressure? I'm just trying to make a deal here, man.
Yeah. So it sounds to me like you got some goals in mind. Sounds to me like this fits within a context of something else you try to do. I need to know, vision drives decision. What's your vision of the future? What's your vision of how this deal fits into your life, your profession, your potential relationship with me? I need to know what your vision is. Vision drives decision.
I love that.
And then if I want to change it, because instead of being demanding, pushy, I'm actually listening to you, I'm prompting you for thoughts, you'll actually open the door for me to possibly take another view of things.
So I'm like, well, hey, I'm just looking for the best deal here, man. I want to do business with you. You're a very likable guy. I like you. You know, I feel good around you. I want to do a lot of business with you. I'm just trying to get the best deal, Chris. So why don't we just split it?
Yeah. So my response, you might be like, so where does that leave me in your future? You know, how does this play out for you? How do I guarantee that 10 years from now, we look back and say the last 10 years together have been a phenomenal ride? Now you might look at it differently, because if you're looking for a split, you may not have seen me as a long-term partner, as a long-term asset. I'm going to try to change your frame to long-term, so that, you know, 10 years, we made so much money together for 10 years.
Yeah. So you're going to, it sounds to me like you're going to turn this money thing, this focus to another focus, like a time or value or service. Is there a list of people that you haven't touched and each person was gung-ho to go and you never used it?
Ask the question about defusing when temptations get high.
How do I defuse?
You know, it's stupidly simple.
I like simple.
Anything you need to diffuse, just call it out. Don't deny it. Just call it out. There's actual solid neuroscience that backs this up. Like if my counterpart's mad at me, I'm going to say, seems like I offended you. And I'm just going to, there's the best way to diffuse something and have it stay diffused is to call it out. It's calling out the elephant in the room, not denying that it's there. You know, there's not an elephant in the room. You can't say, I don't want you to be mad at me. If I feel like, you're reading me as greedy, I'm going to say, you probably feel like I'm greedy. It's so counterintuitive and it's so effective.
How does this from Mike Ledoux? He wants to know how do you feel about ballparks? I imagine he's in the construction business. He doesn't know exactly what the materials or the labor is going to cost or how big the job's going to be. How do you feel about the anywhere from 17,000 to 22 grand?
Well, yeah, you can use ranges a lot. It depends upon whether or not you're using them to give an estimate or you're trying to get an estimate out of the other side. Now, what's the human nature aspect of a range? What you say and what they hear. You throw out a ballpark, you throw out a range, they're going to pick the number that's most advantageous to them, period. And if you come off of that, then they're going to feel like that they were hustled. You know, ignore human nature at your peril. So if I'm going to quote a range, you're going to take the range that benefits you. I better be willing to settle on that instead of hoping that you'll be fair or generous and pick a number in the middle. Like if I want $24 for something and you ask me the range, and if I say, well, it could be anywhere from $18 to $29. And then you'll say, I'll take 18. And then I'm like, I cheated myself. So if I want $24, if I throw a range, I'm going to say it could be $24 to $29. Then you're going to say, well, I'll take 24. Now, boom. I didn't cheat myself. Ignore human nature at your peril. The other side is going to take the end of the range that benefits them, and that's what they're going to remember.
How much of your what have we got time for? I want to be
One more.
cognizant of his time. So, what are you spending more time on verbal communication here or visual observation of the individual?
Visual data is very helpful. So, you know, we're going to combine all three, the verbal observations, the visual observations, exactly what you say. You know, you just look at them as being intertwined. And then just be willing to test what you think what you think you're reading. Like when I was in a negotiation once and I threw a price out and I saw the guy go, and I thought that meant he had more money. And instead of just saying like, what I should have said was, seems like something just crossed your mind.
Remember that?
Because my read was wrong.
Yeah.
And what his flinch was, not that he had more money, that I had taken him to his limit. And because I didn't throw out a general read, ended up losing the deal in a relationship because the guy was giving me something that I misread. So that's a verbal clue, but you be cautious of how you read the verbal clue without testing it. You got to test it a little bit. You test it in
what was the question you asked right there? It seems like you had an idea.
It seems like something just crossed your mind. Could be, seems like, I mean, that's the most innocuous one. I could also say, seems like something's bothering you.
Yeah, man, that price was too high. Goddamn, yeah.
And then I'm going to go with that. I'm going to take that as a threat. Maybe it was too high. Maybe you're not getting enough for the price. Like if you say the price is too high, I'll probably say, sounds to me like what you're getting for that price is not valuable to you. Now we're starting to pivot away from price and into terms.
Seems like that's a good time to say. It seems like you're feeling some pressure right now.
Ooh, I like that one too. Yeah,
I'm gonna be using that line all the time. You know, every time I give somebody a number, I'm gonna be like, "Are you feeling some pressure right now?" So, hey, what's the biggest mistake that you've made in a deal, and what did it involve?
Wow. There's always mistakes. I mean, I think the biggest mistake I've made in negotiation is sometimes I anticipate feelings from the other side and I begin to imagine an outcome and I get all bent out of shape and I run down the wrong rabbit hole. We had a negotiation recently that we pulled out and ended up making a deal. But I'd gone down the wrong rabbit hole and envisioning, how they were going to go, what they were thinking, what they were trying to do. You get in your own head, and in your head, it's a darker and a stormier night than it really is in the real world.
So you went into a situation with some ideas, and it didn't go that way. Did you just keep going down? You just stayed committed to your strategy too long, to your ideas?
Well, I stayed committed to my ideas through the course of that conversation. And so we never expect any deal to go down in one session. So we're always prepared to say, we talk for an hour, we agree to meet again. And that particular session did not end on a positive note. The other side got upset. There was stuff that we knew, that they felt betrayed, that we knew, and that we threw in their face. And so, we just kind of called a halt to it. We let it go. Well, think about this. We got marching orders, all that kind of stuff. We got to get back together with them about a week and a half later and took a completely different approach. We started out by saying, like, we realize that we're putting you in a bad position. Because what are they saying to themselves afterwards? And that follow-on conversation, which we had scheduled for an hour, went 17 minutes.
Wow.
And we got exactly what we wanted.
Yeah. So
prepped to go for an hour and got it 17.
So can time destroy a deal? Is there deal fatigue for you?
Yeah, and there's deal fatigue, and you're going to find in any given set of any given deal, it's probably going to there's going to be 3 phases. And if the other side if you're not getting close to what you need, if you're not making progress after 3 interactions, or 3 phases, but probably 3 interactions, the other side's going to get tired because they've been like, I've talked to you 3 times and we're not getting anywhere. I need to get out of this.
Yeah. Last question, okay, and this is for me, but do you notice, are you looking for this guy to make a decision, Chris, before he tells you? Is there a decision phenomenon that happens mentally for him first before it's agreed with you and or verbally or on paper?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could get into the brain science and even the marketing data is, people have made a ton of decisions before you ever talk to them, a lot. And you really got to kind of get a feel for where they are in their decision process. And, if that process takes them towards you, or, maybe they're using you for free consulting. Maybe they're using you for a competing bid as a plan B. I don't want to be a plan B. I want to be a plan A. So, yeah, there are a lot of decisions that are going to take place before I get into the game. And I'm going to want to know what those decisions are. And then there are emotional moments that are coming, and I want to manage those moments, and those are the pivot points.
Hey, let's do some more things together, man. I'm a big fan of yours. Okay, love what you're doing. I think it's so important that this skill is not taught in normal schools. I don't know what schools teach it. Do any of them teach it?
Only the ones that hire me to teach it.
Hey guys, follow my friend Chris Voss. Thank you, Chris, so much for being here tonight. Really appreciate your generosity and your intelligence and your experience, man.
Thanks, man. Love to package our stuff in with yours, however you want to do it. Love to have that conversation.
I'd love to have you do some other events with me.
All right, thanks, Grant.
Okay,
thank you very
Chris.
much.
Okay, dude, that was awesome. Like, guys, this negotiating thing, it's like when I'm listening to this cat, I'm like, okay, this is about life, okay? Calm, cool, that's Spock right there. Y'all just met a professional. Like, this guy can hold, you know.
He will never get emotional. You would just think, like, he's got this very kind of
you
like,
don't think?
I mean, if he did,
Well, the difference
I think
is
he
giving
wouldn't
advice
show
is
it.
one thing. Giving advice is one thing. You put somebody in a $500 million deal where you're 10 million hard. You mean if you don't do this deal, your 10 million disappears? See, it's easy. Like, it's easy, you know, like, it's not easy. Like, this guy's definitely a wizard, right? But add where you, I got to get this deal, or I got to get this job, or I got to get this pay raise. When you add on the emotion of the expectation of the individual, I know when I get deals, I get in a deal, my heart gets going. This is one of the things, the most important things to me he talked about was like that what was that word he used where I said, what does that mean?
Labeling.
Not sensei.
Labeling.
No, before the labeling question. It was something, it was God dang it, what was the word he used, man? Zen-like.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to be Zen-like when you're negotiating your first car deal. It's hard to be Zen-like when you never bought a house before or sold a house or when you get in your first mortgage and you don't know what to ask or how to do it. Like, if you guys don't practice this, how the hell you think you're going to be Zen-like?
Were you talking about autonomous?
No, Zen-like, man.
Yeah, he
Zen-like.
found it.
I
He figured it
I found
out.
the word,
Come
bro.
on,
I figured
Johnny.
out.
He
Nobody
got it,
helped
man.
me.
He
Shit,
got
I
it.
was autonomous and I had to figure out the Zen-like, okay? So guys, for everybody out there, how can you guys be Zen-like if you are all by yourself in a hole, in a box? You know that example I said, I'm in the Middle East in a box by myself and you're coming after me. Most of you are trying to do your life like that. You're like, oh my God, that'd be a horrible situation. You're in it. You're terrorizing yourself being alone. Okay, quit doing that. The biggest deal, you will find one deal in your lifetime that could change your entire life. I know I did. When I saw that one deal, I was 31 years old. 28 years old, I decided to look for it. I said, I'm going to find a deal. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow, a month from now, 3 months from now. I'm looking for a deal. It took me 3 years. When I saw that one deal, I was prepared to negotiate that deal. I made $5 million on the first transaction. It took me 3 years. I made $5 million because I was looking and I prepared myself. The entire time for the 3 years, I had a coach every day to check in with. I had training materials like I've offered you here, books I was reading on one topic, okay, on money, on wealth building. I knew exactly what I needed to buy in order to get what I needed in wealth. I underestimated the payoff. I thought it was going to make me 500 grand. It made me 5 million. I challenge everybody right now. I thought it was going to make me 500. It made me 5 large, 10x. So look, I want to coach you for the next 21 days, and then I want to spend 3 days with you at the end, in person live. GrantCardone.com/virtual. The cost to you is $297, or you can wait. Other choices. Don't go. Other choices. No. Say 0. Don't do anything. Other choice. Wait till I sell it on the internet for $29.97. Okay? I wish you would join me. And I wish we would get the momentum of what we're doing right now. Right now, we got this momentum, okay? So I'm going to send this to you. You're going to get the Marketing Mastery Program. I'm negotiating with you right now. Not on the price, because I don't have any more money to give you. I'm negotiating on you saying, I'm going to do this. I'm negotiating with you, like, what's the worst thing that can happen here? If you don't do it, it'll cost you nothing, except possibility. If you do it, the most it'll cost you is $297. I'm going to give you the marketing program. It's worth $1,500 easily. And some people put this to you, so make $10 million off this one program right here. I'm going to give you the 10X Super Life. This is what you need to share with your spouse, your loved ones, your mom, your dad, your uncle, your aunt. Your kids have to get on this Super Life thing. Why have an average life when you could have a super life? Why do you guys think everybody goes and watch Marvel comic people? Because they're freaking superheroes.
Yeah.
Every time I watch Bruce Wayne, I'm like, I want to be him. Every time I see James Bond, I want to be the guy that can go in and never lose. It doesn't even matter if he loses playing Baccarat. He still walks out and gets the girl. That's what I want to be, and that's what you guys deserve to be. So I'm going to give you these two programs. I'm going to give you an autographed version of the 10X Rule. This is an international, top 10 most internationally observed books on planet Earth today. And I'm going to give you a 3-day seat, a virtual seat. Everybody has a first, what's it called? Front row seat.
Front row, yeah.
Front row seat. I'm going to send it to your computer. And you're going to go live with me for 3 days, October 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. And we're talking about one thing the whole time. Okay? The most important word in your life is wealth. Some of you will challenge me on that. The derivation of that word means well. How can you spiritually be well if you're broke? How can you physically take care of yourself if you don't have money? How can you be a good son or a good father if you cannot pay the bills? It is impossible. How can you have love and happiness in your heart, abundance and prosperity, the sense of if you're worried about whether or not you can pay the house mortgage this month? How can you be well if you have millions of dollars in a bank account, but you act like you're broke? Because I know people like that are broke, man. They're spiritually busted. Okay? And it's not a spiritual issue, by the way, because you can go to church and try to heal that all you want. You got to figure this money game out. Okay? God does not intervene on the money game. This is your job to get educated with financial literacy. How do I get money to make money so that I'm not trading time for money? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Today's Saturday, right? We've had Chris Voss, Jordan Peterson, Magic Johnson,
Stormy.
Sharon Lecter, Stormy Wellington, okay, my friend and like a sister to me.
Kevin
Harrington, Kevin O'Leary, not Kevin Harrington, sorry. Okay, I'm going to come on here tomorrow and be with you tomorrow.
Maybe a special guest tomorrow.
Really?
Maybe.
But I can't just like this ends. Sooner or later it ends, and then we no longer have this relationship. I want to keep having the relationship. You know, and I want to educate you. I want you to dig deep on this material. I want you to understand what I know. Also, I'm going to give you tonight, for everybody that signed up, I'm going to give you my 5-hour negotiating, negotiating and closing program. Okay, it's $2,500
Now,
on our website.
Here's the thing that we talked about, though. Tonight was the night that we were increasing the price.
Okay.
So the price is going to go from $297 tonight at midnight. It's going to go from $297 to $497. So if you're on the fence, today's the day you got to make the move. The price
right
goes
now
up
is
at
the time to
midnight
make
tonight.
the move. Okay, you got the other trick on negotiating, and I bet you Chris would say this. And he talked about deal fatigue. Deals can go too long, man. People get exhausted, right? And you got to be looking for that decision phenomenon. Man, I'd love to come back in here tomorrow and just come in here and rip on some stuff about when does somebody make a decision? Way before you ask for it, folks.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be looking for the decision. It's called DP, decision phenomenon. This guy will make, for instance, if I was the terrorist in the room, okay, and I'd been waterboarded or I was hungry and shit, I hadn't had anything to drink. I mean, literally, Chris Voss could walk in and say, "Can I get you anything?" And I'd be like, "Where can I sign? I'm ready to confess to everything." Like, for me, it might happen in the first 30 seconds. You got to be looking for that. Otherwise, your deal goes into fatigue. So I'm looking for this thing called the decision phenomenon. There's also a thing called take them to zero. Okay? There's the white flag. Chris Voss talked about a white flag tonight. He didn't use that word, but it is a white flag like, surrender, dude. We just want to make sure you get what you want. Okay? But there's taking people to zero. Like when I'm in a deal, okay, let's say this deal is $5 million, and you're trying to buy a house in a market that's freaking on fire. I know Voss is watching right now. He's like, this guy's good. Okay, I'm trying to buy a house. There's going to be 5 people lined up for this house. They've got 4 people that I can go sell this house to tomorrow, and I picked you. And then you start playing games with me. You got $500,000, and you got 2 days, today's Saturday, on Tuesday, that money's got to go hard. And I found out some stuff like the fence is messed up, found some termites, a roof problem. And Jared and me, because we lovers, and we're going to go to the seller and see, let's see if we can get something from him.
Seems like you're trying to get rid of this property for a few reasons.
Yeah. You know, hey, we found some things. Okay. I'm going to close, what's the date today? October
2nd.
I'm set to close October 21st with all my funding. I have a loan approved. And we found in due diligence, I just got this report today, the roof, the termites, the fence has got mold, and that one kid's toilet, and we got about $82,000 worth of stuff. You know, and my money's going hard Tuesday, and I'm ready to go. But guys, look, I mean, I'm happy to pay you the $5 million. But what are we going to do about this $82,000? Because if I do it, then I'm paying $5,082,000, and I don't want to do that, and I don't think you want me to do that. And I got to tell you, I'm feeling some stress right now. I'm going to use that in reverse.
Seems like something just crossed your mind, Grant.
Yeah. So hey, how can we solve this? Now they're going to offer the split because they're weak. I hate the split personally.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, let's split it. Fucking ain't my fence. It ain't my termites. You know, and you told me the roof was good, man. You guys like I paid a premium on this house. I don't want to pay another premium. We have 14 people willing to buy this house. Watch this. I'm going to take these people to zero right now. You guys need to learn this trick because we're in the hottest real estate market in my lifetime. Sir, I'm happy to pay you the $5 million. Okay, here's where we're at, because now we got a situation. Today's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Deal's dead Tuesday. I have 72 hours right now to use time. Just want you guys to consider this. I'm not a bad guy. I'm willing to pay you your price, and I appreciate you picking me. Okay, but this is what happens. If I don't pay the 82, you get no money for your house, and we can't close October 21st. Oh, somebody else will buy it. Good, but they can't close by October 21st because they're going to go do their due diligence. And they got to get their loan. Most people got to get their loan. Oh, no, we got 2 cash buyers. Good. Well, they're going to find out about the roof and the termites just like I did in the fence. If they're even here still to buy, okay? I suggest we work it out. I'm ready to go, okay? I'm ready to go. I can close in 21 days and nobody else can, okay? If you don't pick me and if we don't work this out, you're to zero. If you do this, they have these conversations in private, by the way. When they're not having a conversation with you at the dinner table, him and the wife, but honey, if we don't take his money, then we got to start all over again with somebody else. And this market, by the way, is changing right now. The real estate market across the country is starting to soften up. I'm going to say all that in this conversation without being, and like just watching Chris, just being with him and his demeanor. I mean, I spent 20 minutes with this guy and I already picked up a different vibe, dude. Like I'm going to be less of an assault vehicle.
You feeling a little pressure?
Huh?
Seems like
I'd really, and I'm going to go back to this. When I get too aggressive, I'm going to go back to I got a beautiful wife and 2 kids, man, that really want, they're excited about the house. We already know where we're going to put the trampoline.
The big one?
The big trampoline, okay? But I need some help, okay? I need some help from you, okay? What's the worst thing that can happen? Okay, the problem with a house deal is you're probably never going to do business with them again. It's a one-off deal. It's like bang, bang, I'm going to bang you or you're going to bang me and we're going to get banged. Okay? All right. Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed this tonight. I know I did. If you want more of this, imagine I spent 20 minutes with Voss and he changed my life. You can't tell me if you could spend every day with me for the next 22 days, I wouldn't change your life.
And 3 days live talking about this in more detail.
Every day, man. Every day. What do you mean, 3 days? Oh, yeah, I forgot about the 3 days
workshop
I'm giving you in October. October 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. Where am I going to be, Jared?
Where are you going to be? You're going to be in the studio.
Yeah, October 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. Can you show them a video of what I'm going to be doing?
Show them the
for
video
Johnny?
real quick, Johnny.
Johnny, don't hold out on them, Johnny. Let's give it all to them, okay? I want to give big shout outs to Jerry Malcolm, my boy Nelson on the clubhouse, Jonathan, J&J.
This is the first of its kind. This is the most interactive business workshop on the face of the earth. And congratulations to you guys for stepping up and becoming a part of it.
I'm grateful that I've had enough success that people look up to me, that maybe I can be an inspiration to other people.
Welcome to the 10X Business Bootcamp Interactive. Let me hear it. Come on, guys. Let's hear it. Turn it up.
Okay, there's no tricks here. There's no gimmicks. We're not changing how you feel for a moment. We're changing how your business can work for you and your family and your dreams for a lifetime.
Stand up in your seats and give it up for Mr. Grant Cardone. Brandon Dawson, Pete Vargas, Grant Cardone, pitch up. It's time.
Get close to power. I'm telling you, collaborate with power. Collaborate with people that are moving. How many feel like we've over-delivered on this workshop for you? We want to help you guys, okay? This team is here to help you be the best you can. Thank you very much for joining us today. So I want to remind everybody here, look, I came from nothing, folks, okay? Just like you, I started with nothing. Raised by a single mother, $40,000 in debt. In the last 12 years, I started utilizing a different wealth formula than I did the previous 20 years. I've always been fairly disciplined with money. But just because you're disciplined with money does not mean you will create wealth.
Yeah.
Plenty of us know, plenty of people. Most people are disciplined with money, by the way. Your parents, your uncle, most people manage money extremely well. They never learned how to create it.
Multiply it.
Multiply it. How do I get it to start working for me? How do I get Ben Franklin to start making little baby Ben Franklins that grow up to be Rockefellers? So if you got the dream of financial freedom, come spend October 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. How much is that? If they
Normally that event's it's $1,000. Like the cheapest sale price we ever do is $1,000. It's a $3,000
You
ticket.
buy that for $297 right now. It ends tonight at midnight. I'm going to give you the 10X Super Life. I'm going to give you our marketing mastery program. I'm going to give you the negotiating and closing program, 5 hours. 5 hours is $2,500 on my website. I'm going to give you all that. I'm going to send you an autographed book called the 10X Rule. And I'm going to give you the workbook. It's about this thick for the 3-day boot camp. And I'm going to support you with giving you this today so that you can start preparing for the next 21 days until at which time on October 22nd, 23rd, 24th, we go live with you. Also, we're going to get some success stories in the next 22 days, and I'm going to be showing you guys off on those stages. Johnny, I don't know if you got any of those pictures of me bringing people up. I want to show off 100 people at the virtual boot camp because of the success. So we create a Facebook group so you can join a Facebook group, start connecting with one another, hold one another accountable, support one another, inspire one another, keep each other on track. The networking from this event over the next 21 days will be phenomenal. The website's grantcardone.com/virtual, grantcardone.com/virtual. Give me 30 minutes a day, not being on Clubhouse or Instagram, just 30 minutes a day of your attention, and then give me 3 days without any interruptions. And I'll take you from 0 to $1 million, I'll take you from $1 million to 10 million, or I'll take you from 10 million to 100 million. You don't think I can? Hell, I did it for myself and I've done it for a whole bunch of other people. Now I want to do it for you. Will you let me? Okay, if you'll let me, the most you have to risk is $297. If you're not happy with it, tell you what I'll do. Just for everybody that's on the fence, if you're unhappy with it, for any reason in the world, I'll send you the money back. $297. This is what I'll do. I'll take your $297, I'll give it to the Grant Cardone Foundation, and then you get a tax write-off on it. And then if you don't like it, I'll back up the $297 and give you your $297 back. I don't care where you live in the world, Sydney, Cincinnati, Dubai, or Detroit, Sydney, Australia, or you live in Los Angeles, California. I don't care where you
Singapore?
live. Singapore. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, okay, wherever you live. You're black, you're brown, you're white, whatever your deal is. You're 15 years old, you're 57 years old. If it doesn't work for you, call me up, call my office, say, hey man, I want my $297. You can't even buy a Glock anymore with $297. What can you buy with $297? 3 bags at Whole Foods, $297. So you get the tax write-off, by the way, and then I'll give you the money back. That's a freaking double trouble. Now what you going to do?
Oh,
Now you got
voodoo,
income. Now you got
voodoo.
income.
Here
You
we
get
go with some
297,
voodoo.
then you write off 145. I give you back 297, and then you boom, boom, boom. You boom the system. Okay? All right. Take advantage of it. Let me be your coach. Let me be your mentor. Let me help you. Let me be your Uncle G. Everybody needs an uncle, man. Everybody needs some help. Everybody needs guidance. Everybody needs inspiration, folks. Okay? Remember the rubber band. You stretched out. Jerry Malcolm, you stretched out for a couple days here, man. I got you all thinking big. I got you guys freaking like, man, I want to go big. Brian Benstock, he's like, God dang, I'm going to get out of the car business. I'm going to go make $150 million doing something else. You guys are all stretched out. Guess what happens? You go back to your regular life here in about 10 minutes where everybody's thinking small, debating, arguing, worried about the bills. Get in a situation where you never have to worry about the bills again. Get in a situation where you're the first person who says, I'm taking care of this bill. Okay? Get in a situation where I'm on your plane, you're not on my plane. I dare you. Okay? Let's go. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow again at 5 o'clock. Thank you for everybody that took advantage of this. GrantCardone.com/virtual. We always over-deliver.
Price goes up at midnight.
Price goes up at midnight, so take advantage of it right now. God bless. Be great. 10X everything.